Hi there. I'm making this video to talk about this Greentooth. And later today, it's going to be a Bluetooth. I'll give details on a couple of reasons why I'm doing this. One reason is for environmental reasons, and the other reason is because of the tooth. Well, not the tooth. The whitening business and the whitening mentality of humanity. The reason it's going to get changed to a Bluetooth later today is that this green could only be made in acrylic, so you can see through it. You can see the white of the stump behind the tooth. I like that see-through. It makes it seem more real, but it's not the hardest material. And the dental, or the tooth fairy, which is a dental factory in Cebu of the Philippines, which is where I'm living now. Originally I'm from Canada, but I'm retired here. It took some time to convince my favorite dentist at Bright Smiles in Cebu to do this, because it was a surprise to them and to the tooth fairy. But eventually they did this Greentooth. They could do that in a small piece, but they couldn't make it in ceramic because they have to do big blocks, and that would be like maybe 10 million local dollars just to get one block all colored just for me. I tried to convince them that they could sell it and make so much money. So I've opted to have the more durable ceramic tooth, as that is a painted on material. The blue, the color is a tint blue that they can color on. And they've agreed to do that, and it's in the dentist now, so this is temporarily glued on because of the uncertainty from everybody on how this was going to work out. But the Bluetooth later today, that's permanent. So once they glue that in there, the only way to get it off is to break it off and then get a more expensive tooth, artificial tooth, complete tooth drilled in. What should I talk about first? The environmental reasons or the whitening business? I think the environmental concept is a little easier to get across, so I'll try to summarize that first. I guess it's probably implicit, probably already in what I've said. The blue means water, clean water, and clean sky. That's what it represents to me, and that's what I want the tooth to represent. The green, of course, everybody understands green. Here's the evil of it. The chemical companies, this is called greenwashing. But anyways, this is actually a fairly green product, but in most cases advertising that is green is not the least bit, is more like the opposite, like the chemical companies that pesticide gas and have the green trucks and green bottles and so on. Anyways, this is saw palmetto, which I just bought and I'm going to use for another reason. What I'm trying to say to anybody of any age, especially the younger generation, is that, well, no sense going into the big environmental story. There's university faculties and a lifetime of study in that. I think the point has been made, and the reasons that I'm switching from the green to the blue. I'll make a video once I get the Bluetooth. This can just be popped off because it's temporary glue, as I've said. And the whitening business, it's kind of a statement on against racism. When I say the whitening business, I'm talking about, well, let's talk about teeth in the medical industry and skin. I'd be called a white man because the light's coming in the window on this side, and I'm a little whiter on the left of my face, but I'm by no means white. In fact, there is not a single person on this planet that is white. But white they, white man, white she is best. That's what the prevailing rhetoric has been for how many hundreds of years. And it really makes me sad and enraged even when I get writing and thinking about it. I go into any grocery store, I go to the drug section or drugstore section, those kinds of products. Look at the soap, for example, and the skin creams, and big white words trying to convince people that their skin should be white, even to the extremes of using bleach. I mean, all of these things are extremely unhealthy, and the medical industry profits greatly from it, not just in the drugstore, but groups of doctors that, I mean, then we can slide into other things, the business of trying to change the way our lips look and puff up our face to make it look Hollywoodish, and make the kids think that they should be so thin and all that kind of foolishness. But I'm getting a little bit off track. So that tailors into the dentistry business. Canada just had started a dental program. I think 2024 it started. Well, I stopped going, and now I'm getting my dental work done here in the Philippines. Because even with that program, of course, some dentists, not all, a percent will take advantage of these government products, as will doctors when the government supports other programs. For example, I had a foot arch that I wanted dealt with when I was in the 1980s. And the New Brunswick government came out with a program to support paying arched inserts. Well, the price of those went up from whatever, less than $100 to over $500. That's like 40 years ago. And they didn't even work. It made my foot worse. Anyways, I just wanted to document this tooth since it's going to disappear later today, and I hope it's showing up. And I will cut and paste and make another video and add it directly after this one with the Bluetooth. This is my apartment, and I'll be signing out of here. I've been here a few months, and I'll be leaving in, there's my notes. I was gonna, well, let's see, did I miss anything? Let's get it up here. Hello? Click. Make it maximum. Why did I get a green tooth in January 2026? So, whitening. There you have my notes. And talking about what I am, a biodiversitist. This tooth represents green chlorophyll. That's the green one, where our oxygen comes from. Anyways, you can read that by yourself.
Warm green tea, thinking oh so right. Gonna hike to the sky, a Buddha temple above. He'll tell her then and there they must stomp the seed of love.
This is to add to the Greentooth video that I made. I just had the dentist put in the official Bluetooth, and I've given the reasons. But to summarize again, there are two. One is environmental, and the other is my anti-whitening industry campaign. Well, it's just my own personal activism. Because the business of trying to make skin white, yeah, I'm a white man, sure enough, eh? I look really white. There is no yellow, there's various shades of pink to brownish. That's what the world has. The business of bleaching skin is harmful. Tanning skin. When I was a kid, people spent money, and still do, on tanning booths, or went out into the sun and sat in cancer-causing situations to get what we thought was brown skin. In other words, we were trying to get out of our white skin. And then I moved to Asia, and I see the opposite on the stores, shelves, drugstores, and so on. Most prominently are the bars of soap and the skin cream. I was going to say the shampoo. Yeah, the shampoo as well. It's just bizarre. Those products should be illegal. And so the same idea with the tooth whitening business. Yeah, okay, maybe you're born with pretty white teeth, but that's not the normal flow. White is not the normal flow through life. Anyways, here it is. This is the blue one, and this is permanent. That's made of ceramic. To finish off the video about the green tooth to the blue tooth, it is now done. I'll walk over towards the window to get a good shine on it and see the color. I want a green on one side and blue on the other. There you have it.
The temple was calm with its lotus and